Hi, I'm Tash. Welcome to Tash's Library. Today's video is going to be my March TBR video. I am a few days late in filming this, mainly because my phone kind of died, but it's all fixed now. It's all good. Before I go into my TBR game, I am just going to briefly go through how badly my February TBR went, and also introducing an idea that I've had where I'm now going to put in a paper clip into this cute little leopard glasses case, and one paper clip for each book that I read each month. And this is going to determine how many books I can buy, because my TBR is getting out of control. I am being seduced by new books, and also this keeps me on target. It means that I'm reading a lot more books than I'm buying. And so the idea is each paper clip is going to be the equivalent of $1. And if I'm going to buy books, and this includes Kindle deals, I have to pull out the number of paper clips that equate to the cost of the book. So that means realistically, if I'm reading, say, 10 books in a month, it is highly unlikely that I'm going to be buying a brand new book. I'm going to be either getting a Kindle deal or a secondhand book, or I'm going to roll over those paper clips into the following month to buy myself like a new release or something like that. Hopefully this means that I am pretty much going to be reading quite a few books. The ratio of books read to books bought is going to increase somewhat. So I'll do that as I go through the books that I have read. The first book I had was For Plants on the Cover, and that was The Witch and the Tsar. And I did read that. I actually read that on my Kindle, and therefore one paper clip goes into my glass case. So it's very satisfying. For profession, I picked Magician's Daughter. I do have the book here somewhere. Yes, Magician's Daughter. And I didn't get around to this one. I just ran out of time. I did want to read it, but it just didn't happen. So no paperclip for me. Then for romance, I had the Kiss Quotient. Let me just grab it here. So I've actually put it back on the shelf. And I did start this. I read about 40 pages. And I didn't like it. So at this stage, I've DNF'd it. I don't think I've read enough to warrant a paperclip. And I may go back to it one day, but at the moment, it just wasn't working for me. For colour in the title, I picked Redemption in Indigo by Karen Lord. This is awesome. Read it. Wonderful. Highly recommended. And therefore, I get another paperclip into my glasses case. They look so measly. Look at them. Oh gosh. Anyway, I'm kind of liking this though. I then got for horror, I picked Something Wicked This Way Comes. I did not read this, just didn't get around to it. So no paperclip for me. For favorite color, I picked The Last Graduate, and I didn't read that either. I know, I told you it was a bad month. I really didn't read very much at all. Yes, no paperclip for me. Female author, I chose The World We Make, and I have read this indeed. And therefore, another paperclip can go into my glasses case. Then for a standalone, I picked Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, and I did indeed read that. So another paperclip. There we go. For non-human protagonist, I had picked Ancillary Sword. I wasn't in the mood for Ancillary Sword, so I swapped it out for the Halfling's Gem, which is part of the Legend of Driss series. And this one also does have a non-human protagonist. I'm going to allow it. That to me is a rule. If I can swap it out for a book that meets the same prompt, then I count it. And I like that one. I get a paperclip. Another paperclip. And boop. And finally, for a one-word title, I picked Neuromancer, and I read that. So another paperclip for me. Yay. And outside of my TBR, I did also read Queen Amid Ashes, which is a novella in the Sun Eater series, because I did want to kind of progress that series and I was just in the mood. So I'm going to count that for a paperclip, but obviously it doesn't count towards the TBR. But I still feel like if I've read a book, I should get a paperclip, I think. So yes, so far there aren't going to be a lot of purchases. As you can see, there's really not a lot in there, but you know, it's a nice way to remind myself about my spending and to keep track of how many books I've read as well. Now I have a few readathons and challenges that I will be doing this month. First of all, I am continuing the Year in Aldia Reading Challenge, which was created by Book Roast, and I'll put the link below. And for March, you have to cut your way through wild vines, blocking an ancient exit, which means I need to pick a book neither first nor last in the series. So I'm going to keep that in mind when I pick my books. I'm also continuing with Buzz Wordathon, which was developed by Kayla at Books and Lala. And for March, it is character names. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind as well. And then in very exciting news is I am participating in Realmathon by Covers with Cassidy, and I'm in the realm of creation, which means that I'm going to get extra points on my team if I read books with blue covers or animals on the cover. And I'll also get points just overall for any school settings. So they are things I have to keep in mind. I'm going to try and pick at least one of those with most of my books, hopefully. So yes, so without further ado, let's go to the board. Here's my TBR board. I am still using my old one. My new one is ready, but the cards are not ready. So I'm just going to go with this one for one more month. I'm playing with my trusty little Eeyore, and he starts here. Play with 2 dice. If I throw a double, I have to add an extra roll. And depending on what color I land on, I have to pick a particular colored card. Green is covers and formats. Red is titles and prose. Blue is genres, settings and tropes. Gold is stats and authors. And silver is It's So Random, where I have to play some other type of game. I'm going to do 8 rolls. Really hope I don't have any more than that, but I kind of feel like I need 8 rolls to try and meet some of my other readathon obligations. So without further ado, let's go for roll number 1. Ooh, 5. Okay, I can work with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is gold. And that is stats and authors. So I'm going to shuffle these up a little. Just going to pick some random ones. Pick that one. A Goodreads winner or nominee. Right. So that should give me lots of options. Let's see what I can find. Goodreads winner or nominee. I am going to go with Station Eternity by Moa Lafferty. This is a fairly new release, well, for me. It is a new purchase for me, and I'm kind of excited to read it. Now, it was one of the nominees for Best Science Fiction in 2022, and it follows amateur detective Mallory Viridian, whose talent for solving murders ruined her life on Earth and drove her to live on an ancient space station. But her problems still follow her in this witty, self-aware novel that puts a speculative spin on murder mysteries from the Hugo Award-nominated author of 6 Wakes. I'm excited about this because I really like mystery and fantasy/sci-fi mashups. So I'm kind of excited. I'm looking for something quite lighthearted. I think this might be a fun, quick read. Also, I reckon 50% of that cover is blue. So I could get blue points here for team creation. There is also like an insect there. So at the very least, I'm going to go for the animal on the cover. Roll number 2 is a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Silver. I do enjoy my silvers. So let's see what I get, for it's so random. It is so random indeed. Emoji. Interesting. I haven't had this one before. That means I need to go to an emoji generator and then find a book that matches the emoji in some way. That is going to be fun. Okay, so this is an emoji generator that I found online, and I'm going to generate one emoji and hope I can find a book that matches it. Let's see. Plants. Okay, interesting. Okay, so anything with a pot plant on it, I guess will do. Let's see what I can find. Emoji. I have been dying to get this prompt because I thought it'd be really fun. And of course I got the weirdest emoji ever, right? Yes, I got a pot plant. So anyway, I had to have a look, and I've decided to go with a non-fiction book. This is Other Lands by Thomas Halliday. This one is basically a book on the history of life on Earth. And that's pretty much all I know, except that it looks at prehistoric life on Earth onwards. It should have mammoths, it should have dinosaurs, all the things I love. And most importantly, it has a plant. It's not quite the emoji, but it's the closest I could get. So I think that counts. And it does indeed have butterflies on the cover. So that will give me extra points for the realm of creation as well. Roll number 3. Oh no, there's a 10. That's a double. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is blue, genres, settings, and tropes. And let's see what I get. Just gonna take some. School setting. Awesome. This is like the best because one of the readathons I'm doing is school settings. So it's like, yes, this is the best possible pick for this one. School setting, pretty exciting because I was looking for school settings, so that was quite lucky. For this one, I think I'm going to go with Onyeka and the Rise of the Rebels. This is the second book in the series, and I've just purchased this one, and I would definitely want to continue with this one. Also, it does have Onyeka, which is a character name, so that will work for Buzz Wordathon. And I'm hoping it will give me school setting points for a Realmathon, mainly because it is a book series set at this magical academy. Now, I can't tell you much about the second one, obviously, but basically Onyeka finds out that she has sort of magical hair and superpowers and goes off to Nigeria to join the Academy of the Sun, and all sorts of bad things happen, exciting things happen, and this is just a really fun middle grade series that I'm really looking forward to continuing, and it fits a few things, hopefully it is still set in the Academy. Otherwise I'm just messing up school setting on both counts. Roll number 4. Ooh, is a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is gold once again. So that's stats and authors. And I have kind of shuffled these. Let me just see. What is one that's kind of sticking a bit? Gathering Dust. Right. That is not a best one, but that basically means I need to pick a book that's been on my shelves for quite some time. Gathering Dust, always a fun one to get because it forces me to go back and read books that I've been putting off for some reason. Generally not because I don't enjoy them or I'm not interested in reading them, but more because I've probably purchased something that's new and shiny and I want to read that instead. So this has forced me to kind of look at books that have been sitting on my shelf for quite some time. And one book that has, and it almost makes it onto TBR so often, and it just doesn't, is Marie Brennan's A Natural History of Dragons. I've heard really good things about this, and it's basically follows Lady Trent, who is the world's preeminent dragon naturalist. But before she became the illustrious figure we now know, there was a bookish young woman whose passion for learning defied the stifling conventions of her day. So this is, in her own words, the true story of a pioneering spirit who risked her reputation, her prospects, and her fragile flesh to satisfy her scientific curiosity. To me, this sounds a lot like Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, except it's got dragons, which is actually more appealing to me. So I don't know why I haven't read this yet, but I'm going to read it because it's been gathering dust, and it shall gather dust no more. Also, I do count that as an animal on the cover because it is. It doesn't matter if it's mythological, it is still an animal. Roll number 5 is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gold again. Oh my gosh, seriously. Let's just take the top one. Translated. Okay. That works. So that's any book that's been translated. Translated. This is always fun because I do actually like reading books in translation. And once again, this gets me to go back to books that have been sitting on my shelf for quite some time. And I'm going to read book 2 of The Witcher, Time of Contempt. Now, this one obviously follows Geralt, the Witcher, who is a monster hunter, and he takes responsibility for this young girl, Ciri, who sort of becomes like an adopted daughter to him. This is a monster-filled world with enormous amounts of political intrigue. Really great series, really enjoying it. I actually don't know why I've been putting it off this much because the 3 books I've read so far have been fabulous. Also, wolf on the cover, and it is neither the first nor the last book in the series, and therefore it counts for my Eldia prompt. Very exciting, and yes, this was one of my aims of the year, to continue the series, and I'm going to do it. Roll number 6 is a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is green. I haven't had green yet. Covers and formats. And let's just grab like a random one. Buildings on the cover. That could be a house. It could be an urban setting. It could be any building at all. That should be fairly easy. Buildings on the cover. Not perfect for realm of creation, but I can work with this because there's another book I've also been wanting to read for quite some time. And this is Northern Lights by Philip Pullman, which is part of his Dark Materials. And I've got it in this beautiful bind-up of the 3 novels, and it does have a building on the cover. More importantly, it also has an animal on the cover, and it's a dark navy blue, which is pretty cool. I know it looks black, but I promise it is indeed a very dark blue. Anyway, I actually don't know anything about this series, but I know it's some sort of magical fantasy. I don't know. I think it's got a polar bear in it. I actually don't want to know much about it because I'm quite excited to read it, and I've had it on my shelf for a little while too. Yes, and it is a beautiful little edition. I do like this edition. And I did buy it thinking, yes, I'm going to love this series and I'm going to want to read it. And I wanted with the cute little animal on the cover. Now, I don't know if that's meant to be, I don't think that's a polar bear, but anyway, I don't know. It's got animals on the cover. Roll number 7 is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red. Titles and prose. And let's go with this one here. Royalty. Okay, so it's got to have royalty on the title somehow. Okay, that should be interesting. For royalty, I'm going to go with another series that I'm going to start. Now, I know this isn't smart, but I'm doing it anyway. I know, I'm starting a lot of series. Yeah, like I'm continuing like two. I'm continuing two and starting all the others. But anyway, I'm going to go Roger Zelazny's The Chronicles of Amber, and that's because the first book in this particular bind-up is called Nine Princes in Amber, and prince, of course, refers to royalty. This one also is very blue, a lot of blue on the cover, so that's going to be great for Realm of Creation. And I don't know much about this except that it involves a prince of Amber who can travel between worlds or different dimensions or something like that. But anyway, he needs to kind of reclaim his birthrights. And I'm mainly into this because I love Roger Zelazny. I read The Night in the Lonesome October, and that's probably one of the best reads I've ever read. And I just want to kind of read all of his books now because he's incredible. And that book really made me think, and it was just so clever. And I love his writing. So Chronicles of Amber is being started. Yet another series. Roll number 8, which should have been the last roll, but isn't. And that's a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Silver again. I do like my silvers. And let's just go to the top one. A random number. Okay. This is a tricky one because it gives me no choice. I pretty much just do a random number generator and look at which book is in that position in my spreadsheet. It's not the greatest when I'm trying to meet a readathon, but that's all right. I could get lucky. Who knows? This is my spreadsheet, which lists all the books that I have to read. Pretty much all of them that I've been keeping for quite some time, different genres, etc. Now, currently they're in alphabetical order by title. The green ones are the ones that I was hoping to read this year, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, there's heaps of them. So what I'm going to be doing is I might just keep it sorted by title because it doesn't really matter. There's just going to be some random number generator anyway. But basically there's going to be, how many have I got? Way too many. I've got to stop buying books. But it goes to 398. So that would be number 2 through to 398. All right, so I'm going to just grab a little number generator, and then I shall show you what that looks like. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here. Number generator is basically going to be from 2 to 398, and we'll see what comes up. It is 259. Right. I'm a little bit scared because who knows what it could be. 259 is A Quiet Life in the Country by T.E. Kinsey. This is the first book in the Lady Hardcastle mysteries, and pretty short, pretty fun. I'm pretty happy with this one. Well, random number gave me no choice. So yes, so much for that in a Realmathon month. But it actually wasn't too bad because this gives me a book that's a little bit different for my TBR. At the moment, it's all quite fantasy and science fiction heavy. I do have a non-fiction, but this will give me a nice little cozy mystery. And so A Quiet Life in the Country by T.E. Kinsey is book 1 in the Lady Hardcastle mysteries. Yes, I'm starting a new series. I know. Don't say anything because like I had no choice in this one. I had no choice. But anyway, it sounds kind of fun. And I don't know much about it except that according to Amazon, she's an eccentric widow with a secret past. And Florence Armstrong, her maid and confidant, is an expert in martial arts. So that's kind of a cool combo. It's 1908. They've moved from London to the country, hoping for a quiet life. But then she finds a dead body in the woods and the police on the wrong scent. And so Lady Hardcastle makes inquiries of her own, uncovering a web of intrigue that extends far beyond the village. Just sounds fun. I do enjoy little cozy mysteries, and that's what it sounds like. Now, it does not have blue on the cover, really. There's not enough blue to warrant it. It's not a school setting, but if you look really, really closely at the very bottom, you can see a hedgehog in silhouette. So I'm going to count this. It's an animal on the cover. And the final roll is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Silver again. Okay. Shall we just do the top one again? Random letter. Okay. So that's a random letter, and that's the letter of the title. This is my Scattergrees letter dice, and I'm going to throw this to see which letter I get, and I have to match that letter to the title of the book. Let's see what I get. Hopefully it doesn't roll onto the floor. Who knows? An I. Okay, that could be quite tricky, but let's see what I can get. And then random letter. So a little more choice than random number, just because, you know, like, it does give me a little bit more choice, because at least I could choose books that's from that particular letter. And of course I got I, because why wouldn't I get I, right? But yes, I had a look at some of the books that started with I. I don't have a lot of options, and I've decided to start yet another series. Yes, because I didn't have continuation of series starting with I. And I have gone with The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman. This one is following Irene, who's a professional spy for a mysterious library, who harvests fiction from different realities. And she's got an enigmatic assistant. She's posted to an alternative London and needs to retrieve a dangerous book, but it's been stolen. And she's coming across London's underground factions who are willing to fight for this book. And this is a chaos-infested world where the laws of nature are bent. You have supernatural creatures, unpredictable magic, secret societies, danger clues, nature of reality is at stake. It sounds really fun, so I'm really looking forward to this one. This one has horses on the cover, as you can see, horses drawing a carriage. And I think this one is blue. I call that blue. So let me know if you don't think it's blue. I won't count it for Realm of Creation. But to me, it's like a tealy kind of blue color. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. So I have quite a few books. So I have quite a few little books here. I have 9 books all up, and it looks quite hefty, though of course these 2 are bind up, so I'm only reading a portion of it, a third of this one and a fifth of this one, so it's not as bad as it looks. One of them is a middle grade. Yes, and of course I have 2 in Kindle. So yes, it's going to be quite a crazy month. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and until I see you next time, take care.